think we need to come together and focus on the things that really unite us instead of the 10% of the things that divide us. My kids' generation is the first generation that will not make as much money as their parents. I am South Texas. I have the values of South Texas. I live the values of South Texas, and I'll defend the values of South Texas.
How about, what would you consider your greatest and biggest achievement and your biggest win, Bobby?
My kids, without a doubt.
Well, hello, Bobby. Thank
Hello.
you for coming to the ranch. Welcome to Delta Oaks Podcast.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. I really appreciate you being here
My
today.
Thanks for
We're
the
super
invite.
excited to be here, so we've been talking off camera about
Yes, sir.
so many topics, right? But I'd like to start by giving us a little background about yourself, where you come from, where's home for you, where it all started.
I'm from Edinburgh, Texas. My dad's from Edinburgh, Texas. My grandfather's from Edinburgh, Texas. His dad was from La Palmita, Nuevo León. He was the mayor of La Palmita, Nuevo León. My great-grandfather was.
Wow.
My dad was a migrant. My whole family came from farming.
Okay.
So my dad was a migrant, would travel to California and come back to Texas. And they would pick the fields. They work hard. And like most families, their one goal was for their kids to do better than them. And my dad, through music, got a music scholarship to Pan Am College,
Mm-hmm.
Pan American College, became a teacher, and then pursued his dreams on music, and he did good. And I was born, in that area when he was still starting his musical career.
Mm-hmm.
And like most parents, they work hard so we don't have to suffer the way they did.
How do you feel that some of those ethics or values came down from your parents have instilled in you today?
Incredible, man. I can't overstate it. We're very family oriented, right?
Mhm.
So we're a very close family, right? I got lots of primos, lots of
Oh,
primas.
yes.
And my grandfather was a patriarch. He was a kind of glue that held it together. And those values are what motivate me, really, to be honest with you. And I pass them on to my kids. As the same thing. I got 4 boys, and so on my mom's side, she's from Donna, Texas.
Uh-huh.
My mom, her father was Mario Montes de los Doneños, the Doneños, Ramiro Cavazos and Mario Montes. He was the accordion player.
Is that right?
Yeah. So
Do you have some maybe that came down from your mother's side? Because we all know about your dad.
Of course.
Yeah.
I got the musical genes
On both sides.
From both sides, right?
Is that right?
Yeah.
I don't think most people out there in the podcast realize. Everybody knows about the legacy of your father and so forth, right?
Right. No,
But,
my
there's
grandfather.
educators
My
about
grandfather
that.
was a legend, man. I mean,
Okay.
he rode La Polka, El Sub y Baja.
Wow.
So that's why they called themselves Los Doneños, because they were from Donna.
Okay.
But he was originally from El Ojo de Agua, Terán,
Mm-hmm.
which is un municipio de General Terán.
Okay.
But it's funny that those are all on the father's side,
Uh-huh.
but on the mother's side, my roots in Texas are part of the Spanish land grants before Texas existed.
Mhm.
So like my great-grandmother was born in Yorktown, Texas.
Wow.
And some of my relatives, ancestors, was Blas Maria de la Garza Falcón, who they named Falcon after, and Martín de León, who also founded Victoria, Texas. So I have a lot of bloodlines of también here of being in Texas.
So I think it would be safe to say, Bobby, that you have a lot of strong foundation on all this area.
I do.
Yeah,
I get it.
background.
Yes.
Yes. So you have a clear understanding of because we're a mixture here in the Rio Grande Valley of the American mainstream mixed in with a Mexican heritage.
That's right.
The blend.
That's right.
So and how does that complement you with those core values that you've learned from your family?
I think it defines me.
Okay, can you expand a little bit on
Well,
that?
it defines. I think a lot of times the way you're raised becomes a byproduct of how of the person that you become.
Okay.
You know, I've seen the gamut of what happens, right? Sometimes you will see people raised in a lot of poverty and a lot of pain,
Mm-hmm.
and then they come out a certain way and it molds them in a different way when they come out. I wasn't raised that way,
Mm-hmm.
but I also wasn't raised as a spoiled brat
Mm-hmm.
where daddy bought everything. And I don't raise my kids that way either, right? I'll never forget when I was in high school, and then I got to college, right? I wanted my dad to buy me a Mustang. That was my that was my dream car. And my dad would laugh at me when I would ask him for a Mustang. And I was like, why are you laughing? I want a Mustang. He's like, buy your own Mustang.
Yeah.
So my dad was always like, I love you, but I'm going to get you a car that's going to get you from point A to B. I said, but you can afford a Mustang. He's like, yeah, I could, but I'm not going to buy you one.
You know why I giggle, Bobby? That exact same story with my oldest son. I refused to buy him a Mustang.
Yeah.
I don't know what it's about.
Yeah. And I'm the same way with my kids,
Yeah.
you know? I mean,
They need to earn it.
they need to earn it, right? And so I have a very old school mentality of how I raised my kids, and I think it's because I was raised in that same old school. So
Yeah.
even though dad worked hard and provided for us, but he never spoiled us.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's the best thing a parent could do to the kid is to ride that gap of not spoiling, but also, you know, trying to look out for you in a better way.
Right.
For you and you to live a better life. And so being a parent's not easy. It's tough, but I think definitely that's what molded me.
Sure. Yes. And we've seen that throughout your family and so forth.
Yeah.
And you've continued that legacy for your family.
I try to.
Yeah. Well,
I think the legacy, my legacy, is not from me. We're gonna die.
mm-hmm.
We don't know what that legacy is gonna be. But we leave that legacy for our kids and our grandkids and great grandkids.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, you've been a tremendous success, you know, in the music industry as an entertainer.
Thank you.
Yeah. You know, you have a lot of fans and so forth. But it's up to you. But in this platform, I don't know if you feel comfortable if you want to mention perhaps some intentions. I know you have put out on your social media that you're entertaining perhaps to run for office.
Yes. I formed an exploratory committee.
Okay.
Yes.
So if you would like to perhaps tell us some of the pros and the cons of that, whatever you feel comfortable with mentioning, that why you're considering yes and maybe not.
I'm comfortable. Of course, I'm comfortable doing this. You know, politics has always been something that fascinated me when I was younger. When I was in high school, they voted 2 students in the whole high school to go to Austin to Texas Boys State. And Texas Boys State is all about government. You go and you're in the Capitol and you're seeing the way government functions and you're there for a whole week. And it was a really good experience. I'd like to think that my history teachers saw something in me that they thought potential. And that kind of spurred me on to study political science at St. Mary's in San Antonio, St. Mary's University. And that's when my dad, I had recorded a song with him, and he told me, hey, you know, it's not for nobody, it's just for me. And he lied. And so he showed it to the label. Yeah, he showed it to the record label. And so I got the 2 record labels in a bidding war. I was not even a professional singer. I didn't want to be a singer. And truth be told, I was a broke college student because my dad always told me you got to earn it.
Yeah.
So I didn't have money. I just had enough, you know. And so when they started offering me these contracts, I kept telling them no, 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 and they kept going up, up, up. And I had 2 of them. They flew me to Miami for Sony, EMI. Finally, we finished in $60,000 per CD, which I could record a CD for about $10,000. So after I paid taxes, I figured, well, I recorded my first CD. I'm gonna do my best. I'm gonna try to make the best CD that I can. And if it doesn't work out, I'll go back to school and I have money. Right? I mean, I was lacking 21 hours, so I was real close to graduating. And so I ended up negotiating my dad's contract in my deal So I actually upped him from $15,000 to $30,000 a CD.
Wow.
In that same negotiation. He didn't give me a commission, but it's okay. It was his fault anyway, right? But
Did he ever get you that Mustang, maybe?
he
Or
never
another
got me
car?
that Mustang. No,
So if you're out there, Dad, you owe him a Mustang.
no, he's good. But no, you know, my life has gone full circle. I remember having that conversation with my dad, and he told me, "Hey, son, you're not ready." He says, "You're not ready." And in his way, he said, "Te falta." That's what he would, "Te falta." And he wasn't wrong. He was right. And I told him, "You know what, Dad? I know, but I'm a hard worker."
Yeah.
I said, and I'm a winner. And I said, I apply myself. And so I said, I'm gonna work hard. And look, I'm gonna leave it to the people. If my first CD doesn't hit, I'll come back to school with money, and I can finish college. And so he couldn't really argue with that part, right? He just,
You had a plan.
I had a plan, and now I just didn't have a plan. I had a contingency plan,
There you go. Yeah.
right? Because in case that didn't work out, plan B was still there. So I think things thoroughly, right, when I do things. And so my life has come full circle. I've been at this 30 years already. And I've always wanted to serve. And, you know, the political climate has been something that I haven't really liked the way it's gone, in the direction that it's gone.
Why, Bobby?
You know, I think a two-party system, a healthy two-party system, is what we need in this country. And right now it's not healthy. Neither one are healthy. I've always been a Democrat, very blue doggish. I hate it because sometimes people will say, "You're a Republican." And I said, "No, I'm not a Republican. I'm a Democrat." Tried and true. But I believe in responsible government. I'm a Southern Democrat. I'm a Democrat because I believe that Democrats are better for the economy. Don't ask me. Go ask ChatGPT, or I ask Grok. Right? Who's performed better the last 30 years? And you know, 9 out of 10 recessions have been started under Republican presidents.
Yes.
And GDP under Democratic presidents has been higher. Unemployment is better under Democratic administrations. And the last president to actually balance our budget was Bill Clinton, a Southern Democrat. So I believe in that type of ideal, right? That's been something that I've always believed in. But unfortunately, right, over the time, priorities change, politics change. Sometimes priorities change with the parties, and they start pushing other things and forgetting about really who they are.
Yeah.
And I think that kind of happened in my party, to be honest with you. And then the other party, you know, I voted for George W. Bush. I thought he was a better candidate. The war kind of deceived me, but at the time when I voted, that hadn't happened, and I thought I liked his policies, and I thought he'd done a good job.
At the time, it was the right
Yeah, I
decision.
thought he'd done a good job as governor. But right now, that's the Republican Party is the MAGA party. It's not the Republican Party. And I don't think it's best served when one person surrounds himself with everybody that does whatever he wants. And so I don't think that party's healthy either. I think my party right now lacks a lot of leadership, lacks a lot of direction. I think in politics, the brand matters, and my brand right now and my party's brand is in the toilet. It's the worst it's ever been. But I'm a firm believer that if you don't like the way things are, then
Step up to the plate.
Step up to the plate and bring something to the table. Bring a vision. And I think that there's a reason why we say we're from the 956. It's because we have a way of being here. And I don't feel at this time that we have any representation that prioritizes our values over anything else. I mean, MAGA came from Donald Trump's brain. Progressivism came from the East Coast and West Coast, and they started saying Latinx and other things and gender pronouns. And that's not who we are here. We just don't talk that way.
No, we don't.
There's a huge divide between rural people, and we're very rural here. You know, small town, more ranchettes. There's city, but but it's not the big city. We've never been big city folk. And I think that as a Democrat, I'm frustrated because we get branded a certain way and painted with a broad brush that all Democrats have to be that way.
Would you consider, Bobby? I'm sorry to interrupt you, because for our viewers out there and our followers, how could you perhaps consider explaining to them, to La Raza, to the Naifas, to the Rio Grande Valley, because it's kind of theoretical politics and policies and so forth, pero para que entienda la raza, how...
In what way?
And to explain to them your platform that you're considering to do, the differences between MAGA, porque mucha la raza, they say MAGA, they think Donald Trump, okay, could you give like an example?
Yeah, I mean, just as how far the Republican Party's changed, right? You go back to Ronald Reagan, who gave amnesty to Hispanics, a lot of immigrants, he gave amnesty. That's out the window. Right now, it's kick them all out.
Yes.
and give us quotas. And I think it's a shame because a lot of good Border Patrol agents and ICE agents are getting lambasted and demonized for doing their job. I don't blame the people doing the job. I blame the people leading them and telling them, go get me a quota and I don't care how you get it. That's not an option. I feel like we went from let them all in to kick them all out.
Yeah, an extreme.
Yeah, and
they overcorrect it.
Absolutely. And you tear families apart. It's culturally it creates a fear that permeates through society. And then on top of that, you affect businesses. You know, I have so many friends of mine that are in construction that are hurting right now. The economy's hurting. Listen, this is not Trump derangement syndrome. It's not, right? I look at the policies and I have a fundamental disagreement on some of the things that are happening. And I think more importantly is the implementation of those policies. You know, when Elon came in with his chainsaw and they did those Doge cuts, they fired the nuclear people that were overseeing our nuclear weapons because they took a sledgehammer to it and just beat the crap out of it. And then they had to go call them back and say, no. That's incompetency, right?
Yes.
If you're working with government, you got to have a scalpel, not a sledgehammer. You got to say, hey, we're going to take immigration. Let's do something that doesn't affect our own people and break up their families, where we still enforce the borders, where we still have all these. Let's look for solutions, but that's not where we are. It's a quota, get them all out. That's the plan. And I don't think that's the right plan. And here's the thing, immigration slowed down right now, right? Because Trump scared the shit out of everybody.
Yeah.
But he's not always going to be here. And if we don't prioritize and fix it, this will happen again, and it's going to go back to the other thing. And we can't have that either, right? So it's funny, right? But when I announced my exploratory committee, they already started open borders, Bobby, and stupid shit, right? That it's like, I'm not calling for that.
Yeah.
Right? I think it was a huge, 2 years ago, I went to the Congressional Hispanic Caucus Gala in Washington, D.C., and I gave my first interview for The Hill. And in that interview, this is before I thought about doing this. In that interview, I said, Biden is failing us on the border. He's neglecting it. And I'm hearing it from my Border Patrol agent friends that are saying it's not good. Because Border Patrol, I'm not going to tell you, you signed up to protect the border, not to be processing people. And so the asylum process got abused. It did, right? And now people, they do this. It's always a cat and mouse game. People will always try to look for a better life for their families, and they shouldn't be chastised for it. But the country needs to also protect its borders, right? So I get the other side, and then I get this side too.
Yes.
So how do we reconcile the two to say, okay, let's make a system where we can incentivize them to do it the legal route, right? And they start going, okay, man, if I go legal, maybe I wait 4 or 5 years, not 20 years.
Yes.
And so right now the system is broken and they don't do anything to address it and to try to fix it because they want to campaign on it.
Exactly.
And that's the problem, right? Even the Border Patrol got very political because they got used. And it became, I'm pro this, I'm pro that, and I'm all for you. But no, that's because they want your votes. They're not, if they really wanted to make your life better, they would fix the problem to where you could not be demonized and not get hated on. And if you go to a restaurant, not get a dirty eye look or something, you know, because this is what I see happening, right? I think everybody in the Valley has had relationships changed because of politics. It did not used to be that way, right? You hear all the derogatory, you see all the derogatory stuff on social media. Oh, he's a Trumper and he's a racist and he's that, or you know what, he's a libtard and, or, you know, or this, all this stuff, man, that we're getting played by social media algorithms.
And it's creating animosity within our own,
yes.
with our own people here in the Rio Grande Valley.
I hate it, man.
We need to work together.
I have a lot of friends that voted for Trump and they're good people. I don't believe in burning bridges, man. I believe in building bridges. I believe in telling people, you know what? This is what I would like to see. And I have an exploratory committee, and if most people think that I have the same vision as me, and I can convince them, then I think I have a good chance. But I don't know yet because the environment is still kind of wishy-washy, right? I still see the comments, is he an R or D? Because if he's a Democrat, I'll never vote for him. Well, I would like to think that people are across the board are smarter than that. But I think social media has just made us so tribal where we demonize the other side and say like, you know, look, I didn't vote for Trump. I didn't, right? Was I crazy about my selection? No. But it becomes an issue of trust, right? And so I just didn't trust him. That's my opinion. Does that make me a bleeding heart liberal? No. It was really ugly. I fell into that trap. I was really nasty on social media towards Trump when he first came out. And then I caught myself and I went, what kind of example am I being to my kids? I'm no better than what I'm criticizing. And so I changed. I backed off. Right? I did. I backed off and I said no. And I stopped being so rabid.
Yeah.
Because the way the algorithms on social media work is if you click on something that you like, they will feed you more of that.
Yeah.
Right? And they reinforce that and it pisses you off because anger equals engagement. Engagement equals dollars.
Yes.
Right? And those dollars are advertising dollars. So they're playing us. We're lab rats and they're going, let's get this guy mad at this time, right? And let's go this and let's fight them.
At the end of the day, they're the ones that are benefiting.
They're benefiting while we're just pissed off at each other. I mean,
because they're selling to both sides.
Right. That's exactly right. And so, you know, I describe the situation as like, we're all in the same room and we're watching two different movies.
Exactly.
And people say, well, how is it possible that he could vote for that guy or this and that? He's not watching what you're watching. He's seeing something that really reinforces that he's making the right decision voting for him. And you're not seeing what he's seeing either.
Right.
Right? And so how can we talk? And that's why I'm here. Because how can we talk about things where we really lay out the truth based on facts and say, how can we come together? And I think that MAGA was like anything, is a franchise. It came, it was not born here. It was brought by Donald Trump. That was his franchise. He sold it. And progressivism brought their franchise. Liberalism, right? Like extreme. And the people chose. And they chose MAGA over that. But it's a binary choice. You always got to choose between one party or the other. So sometimes a lot of people will choose the opposite just to go in the opposite direction. And that's fine. It happens. That's why you got to play the game. That's why you got to campaign. And that's why you got to go tell the people what you stand for.
And there's where I'm curious, Bobby, what you stand for. Because we know Bobby, the entertainer.
Yes, you do.
Yeah, so not personally. I mean, we're
no, I get friends. I get you.
But I want to know Bobby, the potential politician. Okay.
Public servant.
Public servant.
Yes.
So thank you for correcting me on that. So what you've told us what qualifies you, but expand on that because you seem to be a very good businessman and those are good qualities, right, for a public servant.
Not really. Not necessarily.
Okay. So, well, educate us so so the public can hear. Why should we consider Bobby? What's the background here? Why Is he the public servant?
Well, Donald Trump's a good businessman, but I don't think that necessarily translates to government. Let's just put that out there. I think part of what my job description is in music is to kind of figure out what can click with people, right? My music has to relate to people. They got to be able to relate to my music. Does that matter in policy? Maybe, maybe not. But I'm a normal person. I'm a father. I'm concerned about my kids' future. Super concerned. You know, our national debt is the highest it's ever been. It's $38 trillion in national debt. I think our economic policy has been atrocious. And I say that because the last president to do the right thing and to fix a poor economy was Bill Clinton, because he did something that nobody has done really since then, which is he cut the unnecessary fat. He called Newt Gingrich over to his office when he first won and said, "What do you want?" Newt Gingrich was a Republican, Speaker of the House. He said, what do you want? "I want welfare reform." Now, Bill Clinton's a Democrat. For a Democrat to go cut welfare reform, it's not an easy thing to do because your side's going to be really pissed.
That's political suicide almost.
You would think, right?
Yeah.
He says, okay, but we're going to raise the corporate tax rate from 31 to 39%. And he did. And the government is a huge house, right? We all have our houses, but the government's a big house, right? And here was a novel idea. We're going to get more revenue through taxes, through the big corporations, and we're going to cut. If you want to turn your economic fortunes around as a household, you're going to make more money and cut expenses and say, well, I can't afford this, I afford this, and then you get back on track. We haven't had that. Republican ethos is cut everything, and we want to pay no money in taxes. They've never met a tax cut that they don't like, right? And I think that is a little bit unrealistic, and that's what's gotten us in debt. Because they gaslight you into saying, and you can have your cake and eat it too. You're going to have strong border patrol, strong police, badass roads, badass bridges, all of these things that they promise you. And guess what? You're not going to have to pay much in taxes, and taxes are going to be lower. That's not the way the world works. Don't piss on me and tell me that it's raining, right? The truth of the matter is the rich have gotten richer, the poor have gotten poorer. And the question is who's going to help pull us out of the hole? Well, you can, there's a saying in Spanish, no puedes exprimir una piedra.
Exactly.
Right? And what's happened right now, my concern, the reason why I'm a Democrat, is I believe in fighting for the little guy, man. I do. I believe in fighting for the little guy. But I also believe in fighting for that little guy and helping him help himself. Not give him handouts. I don't agree with that. There's an old parable. You teach a man to fish, right? He eats for you. You give a man a fish. He eats for a day. You teach a man to fish. He eats for the rest of his life. And if I put that in the context of politics, right? The Democrats want to give you the fish. But you can become dependent on that and want that fish and expect that fish every day. Republicans are basically screw you, figure out how to catch your own fish.
Yes.
And I think that the type of Democrat that I am is, come over here, buddy. I'm going to teach you how to fish. I'll even lend you a fishing pole. But if you don't catch any fish after I've taught you, it's on you.
That's good policy.
Because we have to preach, right? Here in the Rio Grande Valley, a lot of people have turned red because they feel a lot of people abuse the system. And I think that laws are important, but enforcement of laws we're really weak. A lot of times, and I believe that your business is associated with something that at one time home healths went rampant, and you saw a lot of people buying ranches and flying jets. And it pissed a lot of people off because there was a lot of fraud. But it takes the government so damn long to figure it out that by that time they siphoned $10 million out of the system. And what happens then is then the Republican Party, who controls Medicaid in the state, just says, screw it, cut it all off.
Yeah.
And you hurt people that really need it.
Really bad.
Really bad. And that's where I have a philosophical problem with what they did, because they didn't go try to get better on enforcement and catch it sooner before you do it. They just cut it all together because government is too inefficient. That's why I do like the idea of what Doge was trying to accomplish. They just took a sledgehammer to it, and that's not what it requires. I think we're on the verge right now, Julian, with AI, that you can utilize AI for good to help identify potential leaks in the system, and then a human can go check it out, and we can find it sooner. Cutting it off is not the answer. Look, you can be as conservative as you want to be in the Rio Grande Valley, but you cannot negate the fact that 80% or close to 80% of the people here rely on Medicaid, Medicare, period.
Probably it's a larger portion than
Well,
that, but
I'm being conservative.
Yeah.
Nonetheless, right, if you cut $1 trillion from it, right, which Monica de la Cruz, who is the one that I'm eyeing at taking out, right, and
Running against.
running against, right? I don't want to get things right.
No, we
Right?
know what you mean.
Yes, wrote a letter to Mike Johnson. About 4 days, days later, she wrote, please don't cut Medicaid or Medicare because you're going to hurt my people and you're going to hurt all of our business communities. Hospitals in the rural areas are going to lose a lot of funding. And she voted for it. Because the party pressured her into doing so. And I will tell you, it had a visceral anger about it. Because at every level down here in the Rio Grande Valley, our economy depends on this.
They do.
Lives depend on it. And when you cut it, and then they tried to get cute. What they did was they said they won't enact till 2027. So, it's after the midterms. That vote was a punishment to all the people down here. And it's like when you see that there's a hurricane coming off the Gulf, it's not here. It's calm. You go, it's still fine. I'm not feeling it. We're going to feel the pain. And those cuts in other areas, you cut it, you'll give people a cold. You're going to give us the flu.
It's already hurt us in that industry right
It's going to get worse.
Yes, and I see it.
And it's coming. So I just don't feel like that's the best representative that we should have here. I just don't believe so. Right? And I say that being a culturally conservative guy that lives, I want responsible government. I'm not...
So you propose being more surgical on the policy and negotiating. Okay.
Of course, we have to.
Yeah. How would you grow the economy here in the 956 in the Rio Grande Valley? How would you assist that?
You have to promote it. Listen, we're in a truly unique area. We have the beach pretty close. We have Mexico pretty close. A lot of people go to Progreso. It's like, it's the cool place to go, I have my other thoughts we'll talk about that later about healthcare. But we also have ranch land to the north. We can go hunting. We can go fishing, right? We're next to Mexico. This is a honey hole.
Yeah, it is.
Right? But how do we leverage the unique properties of the valley is promoting it and promoting pro-growth. I promise you, tariffs is not the way. Tariffs is hurting us. I don't agree with them. Neither did Ronald Reagan. If you go listen to his old videos, Ronald Reagan was anti-tariff.
Yes.
Right? In the 1930s, Hoover instituted high tariffs and drove us deeper into the Great Depression. This has been tried. Right? I just don't believe it. I don't believe that's the way. And don't ask me. The economic numbers that are coming out are not good. Right? And I get it. He had a plan. He had a vision. He's been pushing tariffs for the last 40 years since he was doing David Letterman, And so I just don't believe in that. I have a fundamental, it's not Trump derangement syndrome. It's not, I just have a fundamental policy difference that I don't think that's how you do it.
Yeah, because I believe the Rio Grande Valley, we're very unique. We're
Big time. It's like,
we're on our own culture.
Absolutely.
A mixture. So what works in other places doesn't necessarily going to work for us. Here in
Agreed,
Rio Grande
100%.
Valley. So we've talked a little bit about the immigration. We talked about the economy.
Yeah.
How about the values? How could you perhaps, what kind of values do you feel you could maybe be different?
I mean,
Traditional, because, you know.
my values are the values that I live by example.
Yes.
First of all, right? I'm a family man. I love my boys. I got 4 boys.
Mhm.
And I'm a good friend. I'm a good son. And I treat people the way I'd like to be treated. That's been the way I've ran my career. Let me tell you something. In this career, it's very easy to fall into scandals or anything. There's a lot of temptation in my career. And I'm very proud that I've gone 30 years and I haven't had a scandal. Nothing. I had a divorce. There was no scandal.
Yeah.
Right? I'm not the first person, the last person to get divorced. I have a great relationship with my ex-wife. You know, we're really good. I think, Julian, what when it comes to like what can I propose for values, I think the most important thing is to push for a respect of values and a respect of our values.
Mm-hmm.
Because I don't think that's what happens, right? Sometimes, and I say this on both sides, right?
Mm-hmm.
What's more important than the fight is how you fight, right? And I'll give you an example, right? When they put the knee on George Floyd's neck and killed him, it created a lot of anger in society, in communities, especially in the blacks, but in a lot of communities. But then it took people into the rioting and graffiti and burning down stuff. I'm not comfortable with that because I don't feel, I'm very angry what happened to George Floyd, but I don't feel that it helps bring people to your side by how you fight that way.
Exactly.
So how you fight's important, right? It's very important because at the end of the day, you need to build bridges and it's communicating to people what you want to change and how you want to go about it. And I get it, right? No Democratic politician talked about defunding the police. No Democratic did it.
Mm-hmm.
But the people on the left did. And then it became a branding thing where all Democrats got branded as anti-police. Are you kidding me? Like, the people down here, I don't want the police gone. No, man.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's what I mean, Bobby, because a lot of people, when they get branded, and that's where I was, I'll be more concise on my question.
Go ahead.
So when they said the values, when I asked you about the values, when they say Democrats, unfortunately, they get branded with that liberal Democrat.
That's
I
right.
think you are more the traditional old blue dog conservative
I never
Democrat.
I never changed, man. I've been the same.
I want people to consider to be able to differentiate from that.
Yeah, I've been the
just
same.
because you're a Democrat doesn't mean you
I've been
those
the same,
liberal.
I've been the same Democrat I've always been. I have. I mean, our healthcare is out of control right now. Listen, health insurance companies are screwing us royally. They have driven up the price of everything because they got to get their cut. And they got to respond to their shareholders. Their fiduciary duty is to their shareholders. They don't have a responsibility. They don't care about people. They don't.
No, they don't.
They need to report profits. And how can they report profits? By screwing people over and denying coverage. And I just feel like they got their claws in Washington. And I'm telling you, like, I'm not a socialist. I'm a capitalist. I don't like crony capitalism.
Yes.
I don't like when they pay to play up there and then nobody does shit about it.
Yeah.
Because I'm going to tell you something. I've gotten my health care in Mexico, bro.
Mm-hmm. Is that right?
I have. because it's so much more affordable for
Well,
me.
even winter Texans, when they come down, that's what they do.
Don't you think that being a first world country, that we should be ashamed of ourselves? That we can't provide affordable healthcare? The healthcare is good here. It just costs an astronomical amount of money.
Yeah. So how do you control that cost? I think that's the first challenge, because healthcare cost has gone tremendously
It's
expensive.
out of control. It's going to bankrupt us.
And I was very surprised. I don't know when, but when they started kind of contracting to HMOs, the insurance companies
course.
for Medicaid.
Of course.
Something where traditionally it was always Medicare and Medicaid was state and federally funded
Yes.
and managed by the government. And they subcontracted out because they couldn't control the cost.
Right.
So their answer was, well, they subcontracted to all these insurance corporations, Superior, United, Healthcare Choice, so many.
That's
different
like
ones.
hiring the coyote to oversee your chicken coop.
Well, that's exactly what happened. It's
Yeah.
not working.
And I'm telling you, right, as a Democrat, I am not comfortable with Obamacare. I have severe criticisms. And I'll tell you, as a Democrat, the thing that frustrates me is that a lot of the ire for the middle class, because the middle class got hurt the hardest with Obamacare. The people that were indigent and poor, they're fine. They don't have to pay that much. But what happens in the system right now, Julian, is that the really, really rich ones, they don't pay shit. That's why they keep getting tax cuts. And they want to tell the middle class it's the fault of the poor people.
Passing blame.
And it's not. I don't want to look at the poor person and go, it's your fault. No, it's not. It's your fault because you're not contributing like we are. You put all the burden on us. And I tell you this, and I'm not talking about anybody really that's rich here in the Valley, because nobody here in the Valley is as rich as a lot of these people that I'm talking about. I'm not talking about the guy that drives a BMW or Mercedes and has a $350,000 home. I'm not talking about that guy. You're not really rich. You're rich, you're not wealthy. But the problem is the ones that are really, really, really rich are the ones that are manipulating the system and creating us to hate on the little guy.
Yeah, that they can afford the lobbyist.
That's exactly right.
And said government
That's
policy.
exactly right.
And the other ones that said policy.
That's exactly right. So at some point, you have to take the fight to them. You have to take the fight to them, and you have to say that's not acceptable. Listen, I'm not Elon Musk. I'm not rich like that, right? I mean, I'm good. I have my savings. I'm good, right? I live within my means. But I don't care if I got to go talk shit to them. They're going to probably throw money against me. They will. Monica's on the insurance committee, and I'm going to be fighting against that. Not all insurance. I'm singling out health insurance because that's where I feel that they're playing with our lives. There's family members that we have that are going to not be able to go to a nursing home. And what are we going to do with them? There's cuts coming that are really significant, $1 trillion.
What we found in the industry, because I'm an administrator for 2 other agencies, that's my main job.
Yeah.
Since I retired from my previous job with Border Patrol. What is happening, there's a lot of people falling in the gap.
Of course.
That people, we've had other guests, Josh Morales, where he's done different documentaries. People are dying from cancer, different, you name it.
It's getting worse.
It's getting worse.
Yeah.
But anyway, that's another rabbit hole. Well, what I'm saying, people are not meeting the threshold. They're losing their job. They're getting cancer, right? So they lose their insurance.
Right.
COBRA only goes so far.
That's right.
And then they don't make the threshold of being 65 to qualify for either Medicare or Medicaid.
Right.
So we're always having to do pro bonos, and we help them out.
Of course.
But you can't help everybody.
I agree.
So that population, nobody's helping them. And nobody knows about them. It's a large percentage. They request for hospice, they request for home health, for provider services, and they don't qualify, baby. Right. So we go do and we help.
Imagine when it gets cut more.
Exactly, that's where I'm going. It's growing because people are dying younger, and then they're talking about perhaps considering raising from 65 to 67, maybe even 70.
That's right.
So what are you going to do?
And now What's the latest one? The Trump DOJ is challenging the Biden era where they cannot put medical debt on your credit report. They're fighting to now be able to do that. What is that going to do to our society? Now, all of a sudden, if you can't afford your $20,000 medical bill because you broke your leg and went to the hospital, now you're going to have bad credit. Is this the kind of society that we want to live in? No, man. I don't think so. And you can call me whatever you want. But right there, I am progressive on that issue. Extremely.
Yes.
Because you know what? It's broken. And all the things that they've tried to fix it haven't worked.
Yeah. It's been a very challenging topic. And I think a lot of public servants have tried different variations from both parties, in different ways, right, to resolve it.
Well,
so how would you consider, right, negotiating, if I don't know if that's the correct word, or working with other public servants to pass?
That's what you have to do. But okay, if so, I choose to run, right? And I think and if people believe I'm a viable candidate for it, right? The thing is this: a congressman cannot go change things. What is a representative? What is the responsibility of a congressman? You have a vote, one vote out of 435 people. But you also have a voice. Now, if you don't use that voice, in my opinion, you're negligent. Because you're not given many things. You don't have many responsibilities. You're either going to be a voice for your people, you're going to be a vote for your people, and then you're going to bring money back to your district to help the taxpayer what they paid out to get it back. Those are the things that you fight for. And in those things, our representatives failed. There's no town hall. Where's the voice? I haven't heard a podcast. I'd love to hear a podcast. And I'm not talking about going on Fox News. That's friendly.
No, we need to have a local one here as well. Our representatives here as well.
Well, that's the point, right? Don't you want to hear from your representative?
Yes, of course.
And hear what values do they stand for? What do they want to fight for? You're asking me questions. You want me to be specific. I'm not shying away from it.
And I commend you for it.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm ready to talk about this because they matter.
We've invited other public servants.
I know.
And I hope they consider coming to our podcast.
I would love to hear.
And yeah, and so I thank you again for accepting my invitation.
I'm not a public servant. I'm just exploring.
Yes, I know that, but at least that you're considering you here today to answer their hard questions.
Of course.
But
our system's broken. So when you say like, well, what do you want to fight for? That's what I want to fight for. Listen, man, my kids, and this is the truth. Statistics, right? Ever since the Great Depression, or ever since I can remember, my kids' generation is the first generation that will not make as much money as their parents. I'm not here for me. I'm worried about my kids' future because they can't even buy a house.
that's mainly a lot of people right now. They can't afford a house.
You know what a car cost? What a house used to cost?
Exactly. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah,
I noticed that.
That's $100 grand. Like, really, bro? It's the GMC. What are you talking about? $100,000, bro.
Yeah.
Right? This is where we're at. And if something has to give, we have to change things. And how do you change it? The power of convincing people and telling them, look, this is what I think we need to look at. Can you have a magic wand? I'm not the president. No, not running for president. I'm ready. If I so choose, I'd be running for Congress. But at least you have a voice to talk about those things.
And I think the public, they're not paying attention to that.
They're not.
And I get it. Yeah, because everybody's distracted with their job, their family, their kids.
Social media
As well,
for sure.
So they're distracted. So I get it. But we need to start paying attention.
Yes.
Right?
You know that 38% of the people here in Hidalgo County vote? That's it. 38%. That's not enough. That's not enough because the truth of the matter is it's going to affect us all.
Yep. It sure is. Yeah, we can't be like the ostrich and stick our heads in the sand and think
We
nothing's
cannot.
happening.
It won't
Yeah.
go away.
We need to get up there, start paying attention, and so forth.
Absolutely.
But I would love to go back to the economy, Bobby. I think the biggest, in my opinion, the biggest asset that we have here in the Rio Grande Valley, and the 956, as everybody likes to coin, right, is the people, us. We're the biggest asset.
We are.
You know, we just need to be careful with our leaders to help us point us the right direction and put us to work through the education with UTRGV, our local university, and others like STC, all those
But brother,
educated.
Pell Grants got cut. That's
Exactly what.
Listen, man, that's the problem, right? Republicans view those things as handouts, Julian. I don't. I view it as investments. They're investments in our people. Because when I think about that, I think about my dad that got a scholarship when he was a migrant to go get a scholarship to be a music teacher. That was an investment. That was not a handout.
I'm a product of that as well. I get it. I'm for that.
And so I get it, man. I want responsible government. I hate seeing somebody take advantage of the system. I can't stand it. And it happens.
Accountability. Well,
Of
let's
course.
help out there, but you need to be accountable
Absolutely.
and don't abuse the
100%.
system. Yeah. So we are the biggest asset, the people here.
I agree.
And the economy, the other thing that we should capitalize and use is the biggest industry. You've mentioned it, AI. But there's also SpaceX is just at the tip of Texas.
They are.
Have you thought of perhaps how, if you would consider negotiating, working, how our area could capitalize either, I mean, they already are, there's jobs and so forth,
I mean,
but working
the
together.
LNG pipeline's a really big one. It's happening, right?
Another big one.
That's a big one.
Yeah.
SpaceX is in Vicente's district. I don't know how we could.
Perhaps you could consider it.
Well, of course, right? I mean, you got to be willing to work with anybody that's willing to benefit your people. Period.
All I'm saying is, Bobby, we can't ignore it. It's there.
Absolutely.
And it's a big one.
It's how do we square it?
Yeah.
Right? I mean, how do we link it? Right? I mean, tomorrow I have a meeting with the economic, a team of people in the Rio Grande Valley on how to boost it and, and boost the RioPlex, right? As an area. I think there has to be a lot of that. But it takes leadership. It takes an understanding of what you're doing. But it also takes promotion.
Yes.
Marketing, right? It doesn't get lost on me that if I were to run, I'd be the face and a marketer and a promoter of the region. And I think that's important.
Well, right now it's a perfect opportunity. Tell us about you, Bobby, the other side that the public doesn't know. We want to know, right? This is an opportunity for you to show us that other side for our consideration for you.
Absolutely.
So I kind of hinted on some topics of you, but tell us who we need to know on the public servant that could be Bobby Pulido. So take a moment and think about that, because we've seen you, we're big fans.
Yes.
Okay. But now we're thinking perhaps considering Bobby Pulido as the public servant. Show us that side so we can make a good.
I'm going to tell you the way that I best could explain it, and it might be a little bit vulgar. A little bit.
No, this is a ranch.
Yeah. But the thing is this, right? You first and foremost, you have to be competent on the issues. You have to understand and have a grasp of it. Right? You have to be a hard worker. You can't be lazy. I feel that I'm very strong in those departments. I feel like I have a grasp of the issue and a command of what I'm talking about. I'm not talking out of my ass. I do feel that you also have to have a lot of hard work. Look, we can touch on this gerrymandering, but this district has been gerrymandered. This is already the second heavy gerrymander. Now it takes you to Lavaca County. Have you ever been to Lavaca County? Probably not, and most people probably have not. Hallettsville is a city in it. It's very different than here. We're not talking about Falfurrias and Alice. It's very different, right? It got heavily gerrymandered. It's not lost on me that it was gerrymandered to favor a Republican candidate. This is something that is a Herculean task
Mm-hmm.
to go flip it, because you're literally fighting to flip a district that was intended to not be flipped,
Mm-hmm.
right? So it's going to take a lot of work. A lot. Getting out there, talking to people. I'm not afraid of work. I'm not afraid to do that. I'll go anywhere, man. I'll talk to anybody. That's my thing. And I think the third thing you have to have is you have to have balls.
Mm-hmm.
You got to have the courage to fight for your people, even if it means pissing off your party. You just do.
Mm-hmm.
Because in politics, you're going to get pressure. And they're going to go, no, you need this and we need that. And what are you going to do when that moment happens and they pressure you?
Mm-hmm.
Are you going to vote your constituency, or are you going to vote the party?
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think you're best served in voting the party. I just don't. Sometimes you will. You know, sometimes you're going to go, hey, my party believes in this and I believe in this. That's
Okay.
valid. But if you know something's going to hurt your people and you vote for it, well, that speaks a lot for who you are.
Yeah. Well, I have a hard question for you, Bobby. Is that,
Yes.
how would you manage a situation, a very challenging situation,
Yes.
so the voters out there can understand?
Like
Because you're
which?
saying, like, if it was a very hard decision, either in any policy, immigration,
Okay.
economics, or whatever
Yeah.
it was, your party is trying to tell you, hey, Bobby, you need to vote this way, but you're gonna misrepresent your population that's voted for you. What would you do in that
Choose
situation?
the people.
Okay.
If the party wants to get me out, get me out. That's an easy one. That's not a hard question.
Okay.
No. Listen, that's not hard at all.
Okay.
No. The people elect you, man. Let me tell you, the reason why we're here right now, the reason why we're in a situation where this got heavily gerrymandered and we ended up getting somebody that really doesn't represent the core values, is because people didn't stand up to their party. It's because they let people label us a certain way, that they said, you got to be this way. And candidates went, okay, I guess I got to go talk like that. Nah, man, we don't talk that way. I mean, I just met you right now, but I don't think I talk like a politician.
No.
I'm not that polished, I don't think. I
Mhm.
haven't been trained. Nobody's consulting me and telling me you have to say this and don't say that.
Well, I mean, what is a public servant?
You serve the people.
Exactly. So do you have to be well polished for that, or you need to have core values and represent the people?
Maybe a little bit of both. Maybe a little bit of both. Right? And I say that, because I do believe that words matter, Julian. And I would tell you this, right? You saw it when Trump came down that elevator. Right?
I remember.
Okay. We had just come from Obama, who had deported more people than anybody. Still, he's got the record, I think. Right? So at the time, immigration was not that big of an issue. But Trump ran on it that first day.
Mm-hmm.
The first thing he did was, they're bringing drugs, they're bringing crime. Some of them, I assume, are good people. And it pissed me off, man. And here's what happens, right? It didn't just piss me off. It pissed off a large percentage of people that no matter what you do, they will always oppose everything you do, even if it's a good policy. So do words matter? Yes, words matter.
Mm-hmm.
To me, if you're in politics, you need to be able to say what you need to say in a way without pissing off people, because then you're not going to get what you need.
Mm-hmm.
If you take an antagonistic approach to talking about things, you're going to lose. That's what creates the tribalistic problem. And that's what I think hurts us.
Mm-hmm.
Listen, I'm not being an asshole. I'm not being ugly. I don't believe in, calling people names and all this. I don't believe in that. I just believe in saying, hey, this is what needs fixing. How are we going to fix it? Right? Because then there's people on the right that will appreciate that and go, you know what? He's a nice guy, bro. He's telling you what. I mean, I look at a guy like Thomas Massey. I don't agree with him on a lot of things, but that guy's principled, man.
Mm-hmm.
He believes what he says, and he walks the walk and talks the talk.
Mm-hmm.
And he's never mean or ugly about it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have a problem with that.
Yeah.
I think that's good for our discourse.
And so you feel you're going to perhaps be similar to that? I mean, tell us a little bit.
Absolutely. I mean, I don't know. You tell me.
Yeah. Well, tell us a little bit more about who we don't know who Bobby is. What else do you think we should know about you?
I am you. I am South Texas. I have the values of South Texas. I live the values of South Texas, and I'll defend the values of South Texas. I don't know how else best to tell you.
Mm-hmm.
Right? This is something that we're gonna find out real soon when people start watching these podcasts. If they're now, you can't really go by a lot of times because a lot of keyboard warriors and will just and you don't know how many of those are bots and things like that, right? But at the end of the day, what matters is what the true honest people that objectively, right or left, whatever, listen to me say, well, what do you talk about?
Mm-hmm. And like you mentioned, Bobby, that what percent of our population votes? 30 what?
38?
Those 38%, do you know where do they come?
Approximate, huh?
Approximate. But who are they? Are they like 40 to 50-year-olds, young,
Older
or
people.
mixer?
Young people don't vote.
Okay. Well, we need them to get out there and vote.
And the funny thing is, like, part of what I'm fighting for is for their future.
Yeah.
Right? But they just don't vote. The numbers don't.
Yeah, this is an opportunity because mainly our followers, a lot of them, they're the young population because of social media.
Yes.
They need to realize the power of voting.
It is.
They need to get out there and be represented because this is their future.
Yeah. And but they also need to be cognizant of what's happening, because what happens in social media is we're being played, and we need to realize when we're being played. Mm-hmm. So like, I'll follow different sites, but the more scandalous and clickbaity they are, I turn them off. Mm-hmm. I don't like them. Mm-hmm. I shut them out because I know that they're hurting us more. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And so to me, I try to follow more even-keeled stuff. Just kind of lays it out there.
Yeah.
And doesn't try to rile me up and piss me off.
Yeah. Well, our platform here in this podcast, I'm trying to be, our twist is Rio Grande Valley issues, values, discussions that interest our general public, right?
I'm not calling you scandalous. I wouldn't be here if you were.
No, but what I mean is I see that. Yeah. And I think we were even misrepresentative. Even there are other local podcasters, but I think I'm taking it in a different direction, kind of dig a little deeper, right, into the issues of the Rio Grande Valley, from politics, entertainers and other subject matter and so forth. But anyway, going back to this, Roland, thank you for bringing this up. So what we have up, this is approximate percent of residents receiving government assistance.
Where's the source?
Okay, from ChatGPT. So public followers, this is from ChatGPT.
This is not does this include Medicaid, Medicare? Or SNAP? It says 30%. I call bullshit.
Yeah.
Yeah. You told me it could be higher than.
I see it, Bobby. Yeah. I live it. Right. I see it every single day.
Like I mean, I'm not trying to say that ChatGPT is full of shit, but
I agree with you. It's like, hey, let's teach them how to fish. Don't keep giving them the fish.
Agree.
Give them an opportunity, but it comes in economic policy.
That's right. We need
and capitalizing what we have here, the assets, right?
Yeah.
To get them jobs and educate them.
Bill that they just signed, they put a clause of work deal, but that was tried already in Arkansas, and it failed miserably that they took it away. Mm-hmm. So that blueprint, it's like Obamacare was Romney care before, right? We knew what was going to happen because it had happened in Massachusetts, where Romney was governor in Massachusetts, right? It's the same thing, right? Right now, in Arkansas, they tried the exact same blueprint and it failed. Not more people started working. It didn't move the needle.
Yeah.
That's why I criticize the policy, right? It's not because I hate this party or I hate that. No. It's more of a policy issue for me, right? They say, well, I don't agree with that. So the question is, how are we going to fix it? And the biggest problem we've had is since Reagan, which Arthur T. Laffer was instituted the Laffer curve and trickle-down economics, they started cutting taxes and saying, we're going to increase productivity and business is going to boom. And that's when things started going south economically in the country. Except when Clinton came back and went, okay, we're going to pick it up again.
Yeah.
Right? But ever since then, there hasn't been a president with the will to actually say, sorry, guys, but we're going to have to do this.
So for clarification purposes, do you
Yes.
believe in the trickle-down economics?
It didn't
Okay.
work. We now have hindsight. We can now look at it, right? Now, in 2017, when Trump instituted the first tax cuts, he cut the nominal tax rate, I believe, from 30-something or 28%, something like that, down to 21, right? He cut it huge. And what we now know is in 2017, guess what the majority of these companies and corporations did?
Okay.
Stock buybacks.
Can we agree to disagree, though?
You can.
Okay.
Absolutely.
My personal opinion on
Yes.
that, I have my own opinion.
Yes.
When they cut back the 941 taxes, and those are federal income tax withholdings and so forth,
Yes.
it allowed our businesses to hire more people, more clerks, better LVNs,
Yes.
give them raises to be able to ascertain and retain better RNs and LVNs.
But your company's not on the stock market.
Yes, but the difference is, though,
I'm not talking about small businesses,
okay.
right? Listen, what I'm talking about is the North Star now has been everything that caters to the market, not to Main Street. You're Main Street. I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about market.
Okay.
Listen, the market now is at a point where it doesn't even logically follow what the economy does. Man, you put something comes out and the market it goes up because it's a gambling site, essentially. Now, they've been really smart because a lot of our 401ks are there, and right? And
Yeah.
so they've kind of got you addicted to that candy, and your fortune is tied to their fortune.
Yes.
So as they get hurt, you get hurt, and it's done purposely, right? But now the market is what everybody wants to cater to, and not Main Street. Now, Main Street is you, bro. It's the small business owners. It's the restaurants. It's the construction guys. That's not what I'm talking about. So you're right, but I'm not talking about that.
You're talking macroeconomics, not micro.
Without a doubt.
Yeah. I get it.
Without a doubt.
So going back to the economy, it did help us here.
Yes.
When we had the trickle down economics and we got 941. So
I don't disagree that it helped you. I will challenge you with this question. What did it do to our American economy? Now here's the thing, Julian. I know that we all view things through our own lens and say, whoa, man, it's great for me. You know what I mean? I'll give you a case in point, right? I tour extensively through Mexico, right? As we speak, the dollar keeps going down, losing value.
actually, I have noticed that.
Well, bad, and I know this because when I get paid in pesos and I got to change them over to dollars.
Yeah, the exchange rate.
Yes. So right now, my financial situation in Mexico, when I make money for a concert, is better. Does that mean that I'm celebrating the fall of the dollar? No. Because I know that a weak dollar is going to cause more inflation. So I'm not looking at it as just what's best for me. It's what's best for everybody. What's best for the economy? Right now, it's great.
Yeah.
But I'm not happy with that. I want a strong dollar.
Yeah, we all do.
Yes, because that means the inflation numbers won't be as bad.
Yeah.
So you understand what I'm saying? Like, I understand your personal perspective, and I respect it. And I think everybody looks at that through that lens. That's very valid. It's, what is it doing to everything else?
Yeah.
Right? Because here's the thing.
The big picture.
Of course, the big picture. If we go into debt, our purchasing power goes down. And yes, you might have more money, but it's going to be worth less,
Mm-hmm.
right? And so I'm looking more for the health of the economy, to be honest with you, before my own.
Yeah.
Because I care about the country, I care about the region, I care about my state. And so when I say these things, it's not through my lens of what's best for me.
Mm-hmm.
It's what's best for the country.
Another question that I have for you.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is my personal opinion where I get upset.
Yes.
Medicare.
Yes.
Medicare, everybody worked for it. We work for it, we earn it.
And you pay
They
into
take
it.
and they we pay into it.
Right.
However, it's not our fault,
Mhm.
anybody's fault,
Right.
other than the governments and the elected officials.
Yes.
They spent that money. It's gone.
Mhm.
So right now they're trying to find ways to cut back, to do this or do that. And right now, because I'm in the middle of it as an administrator
Yes.
for healthcare agencies, right, where we cannot service them because of the cutbacks, because of certain. I'm going to give you an example on hospice, and this is just generalization, right? But I'm doing a macro version example of it.
Yes.
Hospice care. The rules say you must or within reasonably be declining within 6 months. And that means you have to die within 6 months. Okay?
This is the famous death panels that they were.
Yeah. So in hospice, and people paid into it. This is not free. The point is,
Yes.
it's not free. Nobody gave it to them. They earned it.
They earned it.
And now they need it. And now the government regulatory agencies are saying, hey, hospice agency, if your patient didn't die within 6 months, we're going to take that money back. Regardless if they died at the 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th month, they lived a year and a half.
Can I ask
and
you
all
a
that.
question? And this
Yes,
is an
of
honest
course.
question, right? Like, who do you deal with? Do you deal with the state?
CMS,
But is this a federal issue?
a federal issue.
It's a federal issue.
Yes.
Because I know that Texas has not funded Medicaid since 2019.
Mm-hmm.
Right, that's the last time they actually boosted it. Around there, right? They haven't. They've been relying on federal dollars. But as far as I'm concerned, right, I think the state has a lot to do with Medicaid,
Mm-hmm. Yes,
Right?
that's correct.
right? And federal kind of just funds it,
Yes.
right?
So the way it works,
Yes.
the government federally, they'll give
Yes.
the state, because every state is, what you call comparative government. What works and applies in Texas is not the same thing for New York
Right.
or California or all the different states. So what the federal government does, they give them the funding, right?
Yes.
They give it to the state, and then it's up to the state to administer how they see fit.
Bingo.
So Medicaid, there's some Medicaid funded projects where now the state subcontracted all the MCOs, like for provider services,
Yes.
and even now home health services.
Yes.
So Medicare is still federally
Medicare
funded
or
for
Medicaid?
Medicare.
Okay.
So Medicare is still
Yeah.
supervised and managed by the government,
Yes.
federal government,
Federal.
not
That's
state.
right. Medicaid is, yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
So I'm talking about Medicare. So Medicare is
Okay. I thought you were talking about
Yeah.
Medicaid.
Medicare is federal. Medicaid is state.
Of course.
But the Medicaid funding did come from the federal government.
did.
It just gives them to the state to administer as
correct.
however
That's
they
correct.
see it. So that's been a challenge, is where now, because they spent the money, right? It's gone.
Yes.
Wherever they misused or misappropriated the original agreement,
Yes.
right? If we go back in history when the Medicare was, they were supposed to take the money, right? Put it away, and they're earning interest, so it'd be there whenever you needed it.
Right.
And I understand sometimes, for one bad agency, all of us get branded, but it's not the case. There's a lot of good agencies that we care for our patients.
Mhm.
And this is, all the people here in the Rio Grande Valley.
Yes.
The Rio Grande Valley is Region 11, to be super specific on that. But anyway, so I'll give you a case. So
Yes.
we have grandma or grandpa, and we're telling them, hey, grandma, I know you're declining, you have hospice, but because of government regulations, you live longer in 6 months. We're going to have to, in so many words, consider perhaps letting you go.
Wow.
Okay, so that's happening indirectly,
Yeah.
even though some other agencies don't
Yeah.
have the courage to admit it, but it's happening.
Yeah.
Right. So what do you do? What do you do, Bobby? I mean, I'm not going to let grandma and grandpa go.
No.
I had my own grandparents were part of the
It
hospice.
sucks that you're put in that position.
Yeah, it sure is.
You shouldn't have to be.
So I get it. It's like,
Here's my question,
mhm.
right? Because I don't think there's any person in public office that has all the answers. The truth is, nobody does. But in the absence of not having all the answers, I think the most important thing to do is to actually listen,
Mhm.
right? If you represent people and people say, hey, this is happening, you have to listen. And then you investigate as to what's going on. And then you find a solution on how you can fix it, and you start talking about it. But I will ask you this. Did you ever approach anybody at the federal level about these concerns and talk to them and see if, hey, this is what's going on. I'm your constituent or whatever, because you're gonna. Everybody has a U.S. congressman or even a state rep for that matter, right? At the state level. But have you reached out about that to get proactive and bring attention to something? Because listen, man, I don't know what it's like to be in Washington. I don't. I can only imagine that there's a million different things going on at the same time, right? So you can't be omniscient. It's impossible to know every single thing that's going on. You have to listen. That's why you got to do town halls. That's why you got to go say like, well, what is your concern?
Well, and I totally get it, Bob, because you hit it right on the nail when you were telling us about the percentages earlier and so forth. The Rio Grande Valley is very unique. So seasonally here we have winter Texans that come and they need these services. So all of a sudden we just grew by another, I don't know how many thousands of people, right? We're also very high. There's a lot of veterans in our region.
There is.
So we're very unique from any other region. So you have a lot of veterans. Yes. And then you have the low to medium income level households, right?
Yes.
That qualify for these services. So, you have to, there's a triangulation where you have a large population that need this government assistance. But let's not forget, Medicare was paid by us. It's not a handout. We paid for it.
But no, you're right, 100%. I think government's been piss poor at its enforcement of what they raw. And it bothers me because I feel like a lot of times they pass laws and then they want to campaign on, we passed this, we passed that. They don't give a shit about how it actually is implemented. Because you just say, I passed this, I got you this much. Well, is it going to work? Because that's the most important thing, right? Is it going to work? Now, I'll give you a case in point. Social Security is going insolvent.
Yeah.
Right? Why? Less people are having babies. The birth rate has declined incredible. And we can go for as long as we want as to why that's the case. But it's very expensive. I have boys, I'm like, hey, when are you going to bring a grandson here, right? Or a granddaughter or something. And they're like, shh, nombre.
They don't want to have kids.
It's too expensive.
Yeah.
They want to have, no, mine want to have kids.
Well, I've said, some that don't.
It's just too expensive.
Yeah. Well, maybe that's why. Yeah.
And so the problem is now there's less people paying into it.
Yeah.
Right? Well, what happens, and this is a dirty little thing nobody talks about, but a lot of the people that are undocumented that are working here pay into that system and they never get that money back. They get paid lower wages. They pay into the system to a tune of billions of dollars a year. Then now you're taking them out of the workforce. Now they're not paying into the system. We're going to go insolvent sooner rather than later. And what are we doing to address that? Because that's what's put us in that problem, Julian. The problem is that it was devised to where, okay, everything keeps going at the same pace, and that pace has changed.
It sure has.
Right? So the question is now, you got to sit at the table, right? And the truth of the matter is, me and you, we're just guys right now with opinions. Like anybody listening to us right now or watching us, we're just people with opinion. But if you get in, your opinion actually matters. You have a voice, right? And you have a vote.
Yeah. And it's challenging because I also have friends on both sides of that fence.
Of course.
Because I have a strong tradition in law enforcement, right? I'm a retired U.S. Border Patrol agent, so I have a lot of friends, right?
Right, of course.
And that feel very, strong on their opinion.
Of course.
Then I have a lot of business associates and friends on the other flip side that see it differently. So unfortunately, the U.S. Border Patrol has been either they hate you because you do your job, right? Like right now, they're being hated on historically, or they hated you because you weren't doing your job. But what they didn't understand was they have to follow, DC. Whatever DC the president says, you have to follow policy.
That's right.
So you never have anybody happy. Either hate you because you do it, or they hate you because you don't. Right?
Listen,
so unfortunate.
It's funny, but it's not funny. But the irony in all of this is that the Border Patrol, just like the immigrants, gets used by politicians.
And it's unfortunate because they're tremendously awesome people.
Of course they are. Of course they are. I mean, family members and friends.
Yeah, they are a tremendous asset to.
I don't like the demonization, man. And,
yeah,
I hate it.
Getting up at all time, all hours of the night, working double shift, putting your life on the line at risk to carry out government policy. I mean, you think their life is worth taking a bullet to keep the narcotics away, or alien smuggling, all that, right?
Right.
So I have a lot of friends on that side, and I also have a lot of friends on the business aspect, where there's a real good close friend of mine, and he's into investment, construction, and so forth. He says, be careful what you wish for. Just what you're talking about is, so now they're deporting all the illegal workforce. Everybody was turning a blind eye.
Right.
But whether you want to or not, you still benefit from them.
Absolutely.
Because in the baseline, right, and theoretically in American capitalism, it's all what it is you are kind of capitalizing on the cheap labor, exploitation of cheap labor.
We are.
Yeah. So even though, whatever government agency you work for, whatever you believe on.
But here's the dirty little truth, right? Because that's where because you're going to say, and people will rightfully say, well, then get rid of them and let's get people with papers to do it. Good luck. Somebody that says that never has had a construction company.
Exactly.
Right? And so in theory, it works great. Yeah, they'll just do it. Bullshit.
Not in practicum.
It will not. It's not.
It hasn't happened, Bobby.
It won't happen. You think this younger generation that's addicted to their phones is going to actually go out there and sweat in the sun and knock nails in, in a roof? It's not going to happen, man. And we're blind if we say that that's going to be the truth. So how do we make it legal to where you don't have to demonize Border Patrol and they feel like they do their job and still get the bad dudes, right? And they're not having to feel shamed, because I hate it. I don't like it. It bothers me. I have loved ones that are in Border Patrol, people that I love, and I don't want that.
Mm-hmm.
They're not bad people.
No.
They're
excellent people.
They're doing their job. And so no, man, like, that's not how I am, right?
But ¿cómo le hacemos, Bobby? Because, we need to get our economy back rolling here in the Rio Grande Valley.
We're hurting.
Yeah, we are.
And it's getting worse. I had a concert in Vegas this past weekend.
Mm-hmm.
Vegas was a ghost town. Nobody told me. I saw it. Anytime I used to go into lines of where the taxi lines, there was always lines, man.
It was packed.
No lines. In the summer, no lines. I just walk straight up. Hey, got a cab. And I talk to them. They're complaining. They got no tax on tips. The guy goes, we got no tax on tips, but we're making less money now because nobody's here. So a lot of things sound great in theory,
but in
practice, it's a much different situation, right? Mm-hmm. And again, I look at the macro level of the economy, and we're not in a good place. We're just not. I mean, go to the grocery store, dude. Go buy your groceries, and if you have a chance to go compare how it was 2 years ago, it is incredibly more expensive now.
Oh yeah.
And so like, I don't want people to gaslight me, telling me it's the golden age and things are great. Not really, buddy. That's not what you ran on, and that's not what's happening right now. And I'm not trying to make it out to be a problem. That's just the reality. That's what it is. So what do we do?
Mm-hmm.
Do I sit here and bitch about it, or do I go and say I'm going to do something about it? We're going to find out real soon.
Yeah, Bobby. So that's one of my other questions I had for you.
Yeah.
What are the consequences if you decide not to run? What do you think is going to play out? What's going to happen?
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, think about that one. You want to
Yeah.
chew the fat on that
What
one?
are the
So,
consequences?
yeah, what do you see playing out if you did not run?
In my life or
No,
or,
to
or
us, to the Rio Grande Valley.
more of the same that you got right now. Listen, I think to flip this district the other way around, it takes a very special type of candidate with a very special type of way of thinking and unique properties to be able to go flip it because it's heavily gerrymandered. Okay? Do I think a normal candidate that just runs and tries to get their message out can flip it? I don't. I wish I could say that. And I wish there was somebody else that would say, step up to the plate, that would say, man, that one could do it. I haven't seen it.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, right, and I believe this politically speaking on both sides, right?
Mm-hmm.
There's a reason why it says absolute power corrupts. Absolutely. We saw this in California because they have a majority of all progressive and Democrats. And what eventually ends up happening when you have that absolute power, it runs off the rails because there's no guardrails on it to bring you back
Yeah.
to the middle.
Mm-hmm.
I think government best works when it works in tandem,
Mm-hmm.
right? And when there's a balance of powers, so it moves slower and less disruptive. And right now, we're seeing that on the other side, on the national scale, where they have absolute power, and he will drive us off the cliff, and everybody in that party will say, yes, sir. And if that were to happen, I fear for our people because it could be catastrophic. And I believe that. I believe in working across the aisle. I really do. I believe that both sides have good ideas. If we just get the tribalism out,
Cross the party lines. Maybe
we
perhaps.
have to. Of course. Listen, man, there's this is the way I see things, right? I'm an old school Democrat, right? I'm 52 years old. I'm an old school. I was into politics when I was in high school, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm old enough to remember. It's just funny how I see like the anti-war party. Who was the anti-war party historically? It was the Democrats, right? Not that long ago, George Bush was we'll stick a boot in your ass. That's the American way.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to go kick those terrorist ass, and, took us to Iraq and Afghanistan and all this, and lots of people lost their lives. All of a sudden, now that Republican Party and Trump steals the mantle of no more wars, right? So that flipped upside, right? When Democrats were against wars, they would make fun of Jane Fonda. Oh, you're this and you're that, and right?
Yeah.
She was fighting the same battles that you're seeing them right now. When Michelle Obama came out with a healthy eating initiative in schools, right? And said, like, we're going to try to encourage people eating healthy foods. I remember listening to Rush Limbaugh going, it's our freedom to eat a greasy hamburger and drink a 48-ounce big gulp if we want to. Then all of a sudden I see RFK come. Says, there's poison in our foods and we need to change this because our foods are killing us. And everybody claps like seals. And by the way, I agree with what he's saying. How's that? How's that novel? The same way I agree.
Irony.
The same way I agreed with Michelle Obama when she was saying that. But somehow when they take the policies, the other day I heard Trump floating the idea now of saying, well, we're going to tariff these tariffs and we're going to give people dividend checks from these tariffs. Well, I'm old enough to remember when the Republican Party said that's a handout. We don't believe in handouts. So I start questioning myself are we dealing with tribalism? or real policies? Is it that you got to be on the cool team, or is it really about the policies? Because if that's the case, I'm seeing everything flip upside down, and it's freaking me the F up.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? That's where we say, well, it's the tribe. The tribe is the problem.
Yeah, the people think too dogmatic. With
Absolutely.
blinders, they say, you know, just tribe, just tribe.
I'm red. I'm team red. I'm team blue.
Exactly.
I'm not team red. I'm
So-
not team blue. I'm team you.
So yeah, so right here at our podcast, I want to stay neutral to everybody. I think
Absolutely.
so. What I want is the issues.
I appreciate that.
What is
Yes.
I want to talk to all the parties, but I want to cross party lines and let the followers decide
Decide.
what's
Let them
but
all watch the same movie.
yeah, but
Yeah.
you know, I like I consider myself a conservative. I come
Nothing
from a
wrong with
very
that.
yeah,
Yes.
and I do not agree with some of the super liberal ideas. I will admit that. I have the courage to admit that, but I have the courage to admit, hey, you know what? I want to listen to both parties, and we've invited as the other candidates and so forth.
Right.
But anyway, I think the people need to consider to get out there and vote and let their voice be
involved.
heard. Yeah, let's get involved.
Para bien o para mal.
Yeah.
Right? Or one way or the other, right? But get involved.
Yeah.
And get educated on things.
Yes.
I think that's important, right? To just, we all want the same thing, Julian. Listen, man, if you get 20 Democrats and 20 Republicans in the same room and you take the R and the D out, I bet you we can agree on 80% of the things.
Because at the end of the day, we're Americans. We're Texans.
Man, like,
I
mean, we've just become so damn used to, we've been manipulated into thinking that this team or that team is the
propaganda.
Team. And yeah, man, I mean, I'm a normal guy, dude, that cares, right? I do read up. I love to read. I love to get informed on what's happening. I love history. I love to see what we can learn from history and how we can make a better life, not just for us, but for our families and my kids.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. To lighten the mood, a little off topic from government.
Because you've been really serious here, man.
I want to talk about, I think we have a common hobby. You like rifles. You like hunting.
Like rifles.
So if you had to pick, what's your favorite hunting rifle? What caliber?
Oh, geez. Favorite hunting rifle?
Yeah.
Why? What's my go-to?
Yeah.
It depends on what I want to hunt.
Okay. Where are you hunting? Well, let's start.
Yeah.
Where do you prefer to hunt? Do you have a favorite hunting spot or place or? Deer or elk? I don't know. What do you hunt?
The best place I went hunting, my favorite spot that I went was Zambia.
Where is this? In Africa?
Yes, in Africa.
Wow. Okay. What did you hunt?
Cape buffalo.
Wow.
Kudu.
So what rifle do you need to take that down?
I took a 7mm Magnum. It's my trusty one. It's an octagon barrel that I had built. It was built actually by John Stokes in Westlaco. And I just have a Remington 700 BDL stock on it, but the barrel's custom. It shoots really good. I use that for the lighter game, for Impala and the Plains game stuff. And then I used the big boy, a 375 H&H.
That's
for
a
the
big
Cape
boy.
Buffalo and the bigger animals. Yeah.
How did that taste, the buffalo?
I didn't eat buffalo. The guys did. Hunting gets a real bad rap.
Unfortunately, yeah.
And I'm a humanist. I love animals, but I love humans. and the people in Zambia take care of their animals because that's their resource.
Okay.
So they send a game warden with you, man, on safari to make sure you shoot the males that are already old and are going to die anyway. And they have a lot of game. You have African countries like Kenya that doesn't allow hunting, and the people, because they're so hungry, have killed them all for food. Because what they do is they just shoot whichever one they get.
They didn't manage it right.
They don't manage it right. So what the people in Zambia do is they go and shoot the poachers for killing their resources. It's legal. So nobody poaches them. Because they know that people like myself and other people go pay a lot of money to go hunt a wild Africa. It's not South Africa. South Africa's high fence,
Yeah.
right? It's a lot cheaper and it's a lot more affordable, but they import them, right? So it's a different deal.
Yeah.
But to see the way the people react on, can I have the meat? Yes. Nothing goes to waste. They eat it.
Awesome.
The kudu and the bush buck were the most amazing food that I've ever eaten. Tasty, super good.
And which animal is that? What's it called?
Kudu.
Kudu.
Bush buck's the best meat, game meat I've ever tasted.
And that's what is it? Like an impala, deer, or
It's
what?
like a really small. It's like a small kudu, like a real little one. It's got spots and it's not big, but it's really tasty.
And how did they cook it?
Like in a guiso.
Really?
Yeah.
Un guisao.
Yeah, their version of it, right?
Right.
So like listen, I've gone caribou hunting, red stag. I've hunted a lot of places around the world.
Okay.
But I've never really wanted. I had a real bad experience. Had a real bad experience.
Tell us about it.
When Facebook just came out. And dummy me posted at 2:00 in the morning some of my hunting pictures.
Oh, I think I remember that. Not coming back.
No, I don't know if you remember it because it wasn't up 10 minutes.
Uh-huh.
It was up maybe 8 minutes. And I got the most absolutely hateful comments from people. You asshole. You're an asshole. Like, I mean, it was, I hope you die. Like, I mean, it was super ugly, man. And I went, you know what, dude? And that's when I said, there's just some things that I shouldn't put on
I understand.
On social media. And you know what? I see people going and saying, like, look, I shot this elephant. And I'm like, dude, don't do that. You're not helping anything.
Yeah.
There's just certain things on social media that look really bad.
Yeah.
That in real life aren't that bad. If you just
because some of those animals they need to be taken out. So far, especially if it's well
But
managed.
I can understand where people would look at that and have a very negative, judgmental thing on that.
Yeah,
right.
Especially if they love elephants.
So I try to be respectful to others.
Yeah.
Right. It's my way of life.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
It's my way of life. I live my life. I don't have to promote it to you.
Mm-hmm.
I get that, and I don't.
Mm-hmm.
So, but this is something. Listen, man. I was raised. My dad. I shot my first whitetail deer at 7 years old. My kids shot my 3 older boys shot their first buck at 5. All 3 of them. Right. So my oldest boy's name is Remington. For crying out loud.
So, nice name, yeah.
So if you're gonna ask me how much is that my passion in shooting and well, it's that level.
Yeah, I get it.
It's that level. That's my way of life, right? But I respect other people that go, I don't like that shit. Okay, you never see it. Yeah.
Well, everybody's different.
Now, one thing I'm gonna tell you: never shot a lion. Have no intentions.
Okay.
Never shot an elephant or a giraffe. Right, or any of those animals that are. It's more like
like game animals. You've shot
the game animals,
like real
the
game.
plains game, the plain stuff. But it's and I don't criticize other people that do that. It's just not my cup of tea.
Yeah,
it's not something that I chose. I wanted to do.
Yeah, no, I get it. So the 7 mag and all that.
That's 7 mag and a 375 on that trip, right?
Yeah, that's a big caliber.
It's a big caliber. Yeah, 300 grain bullet.
Yeah.
Probably elk. The one I shot my elk, I shot a 338 Win Mag.
Okay.
Shoots a 225.
I think there's bullet. A 338 Lapua as well, right?
I had a Lapua too.
What's the difference between that the Lapua?
Oh, the case. The case is a lot bigger with the Lapua.
Okay.
It's meant for longer range. I mean, I've shot at a mile.
I've
had hits at a mile. That's the longest I've shot at.
Yeah, because you've mentioned your prolific.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Excuse me.
It's okay.
At shooting, right?
Yes.
So what's your shooting rifle then?
Well, I have a lot of them, man.
But your go-to one, I mean.
I don't have. I mean, listen, I have a lot of guns, man.
Yeah.
I have a lot of guns.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not trying to brag, right?
No, I get it because it's like some people that it's kind of my hobby as well. I like collecting.
My friends joke at me and they're like, dude, if there's a war, we're coming to your house.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, I got about 8 AR-15s.
So, but
different calibers.
Yeah. So, but which one do you like to shoot the most, I guess?
You know what?
All of them, you just take them all out.
Yeah, that's why I don't have a lot of miles on my guns. It's like having a bunch of cars.
Yeah, a little bit at a time.
Yeah, so like, varmint rifles. I like night hunting too. I'm a big coyote hunter at night
Mm-hmm.
and varmints.
Yeah, hunting at night is fun.
Yeah, dude. I have a lot of thermal stuff.
Yeah, there's a famous saying though that I've been one of the very few, but I mean, just apprehension wise.
Oh,
Ernest Hemingway. I don't know. It's a famous.
course,
US
he was a safari hunter.
Yeah. But there's a famous quote that Ernest Hemingway has that the Border Patrol uses. Well, some classes use it, but just for apprehension. There's no hunting like the hunting of man. And to make the apprehensions of people or narcotics, especially now that meth is a big deal.
I would rather them keep it at narcotics and not man.
Yeah.
It sounds ugly.
Yeah.
But yeah, no doubt. I don't know what that is like. But I'm a big hunter, but I haven't hunted in a long time. I got into the shooting,
Mm-hmm.
and I just like to shoot, long range shooting. I have 6BR, I have 6GT, I have a 6.5 by 47 Lapua. I have a 280 Ackley improved.
How about pistol shooting? Do you like?
You know what? I have some pistols, but I am not a pistol guy.
Okay.
I shoot well enough. I can handle my own. Probably better than some, not as good as others. I'm with a pistol.
Okay.
I'm very good with a shotgun. Shot sporting clays at world championships and competed and that type of stuff.
Right.
But mainly my game is rifle. I like to reload. I make my own bullets. I got 2 AR-10s, and I got, I have a night vision rig with clip-ons, and I have, I have all that stuff, right? I can film the night. So yeah, I mean, ask me what caliber I don't have. So like in my AR-15s, I'll have like 450 Bushmaster, which is a big boy.
Yeah, that is.
6.5 Grendel, 22 ARC.
One of my favorite ones is the caliber. It's a real small caliber, but it's just for pinging, and it's just fun. It's a 22-250, the Tika 22-250. It's a real small caliber, but you can hunt with it if placement is good.
If placement is good,
But I've shot numerous calibers, and
I shot that when I was younger. I shot 22-250s when I was younger.
Yeah. It's just fun.
But I like
shoot.
223s.
223.
I can shoot 1,000 yards with my 223 bolt gun.
Wow.
Yeah.
So that's
if the wind is not bad, I can make consistent hits. With it. Yeah.
So, but I can talk about a lot of places.
Yeah, I build all my ARs. I don't buy them I don't go like Daniel Defense and go buy it. I like to build them myself in different parts. And I'm kind of particular with what I like. Yeah. I'm a big fan of two-stage triggers. I don't like single-stage triggers.
Okay.
So
how many pounds of pressure do you put on your triggers?
My AR ones go about 4 pounds.
Okay.
3.5.
Well, that's pretty light, right?
It's pretty light. It's as light as you can get.
Yeah.
But my triggers on my competitive shooters, those are about a pound.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My son has I have one, but my son likes to, my oldest son, he likes to hunt with an old battle rifle. He's got a Mauser, 8mm.
Oh, 8mm Mauser. I have one.
Yeah. See, they're fun to shoot.
Yeah.
They got an awesome feeling to it.
Have you ever seen the ones with silver bullets on the 8mm Mauser? It was all silver.
I
have some old ammo like that, and I've never shot it out of there. But yeah.
You have to get really good ammo because a lot of the old ammo is pretty corrosive.
Correct.
The old 8mm
they used. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's a fun rifle to shoot.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, I'm a gun nut, bro. Like through and through.
But I like collect. One of my favorite ones are HKs. I got different models of the rifles.
I have a pistol, HK 40.
Yeah.
That I really like.
Yeah.
That's my.
But I think it's important to for the public. I know we're getting a little off subject. It's gun safety is tremendously important.
Oh, man,
that always practice really good gun safety.
Absolutely.
If you like weapons, a lot of people, this is Texas, this is the Rio Grande Valley. Go out there and get your hunting license.
Yeah,
Go out there, take the safety courses. It's super important.
it is.
Always keep your weapons, locked in a safe location.
Absolutely, man.
Gun
It's
safety is super
I'm a stickler
important.
for that.
Yeah, that's
'Cause
super important.
my dad always instilled that in me.
Yeah, so gun
Yeah.
safety is tremendously important. I want to
Agree.
make sure that everybody understands that we just don't have weapons just laying around anywhere.
No.
But they're important to have.
I got them all of them under lock and key.
Yeah, I have
Yeah.
a couple of safes. They're under, lock and safe, and
And just for home protection, so don't even think about it. Because I got a Beretta 1301, a combat one that
yeah,
hurts really hard with double up box. So stay away from my house, please.
yeah. And I was fortunate enough to learn a lot of gun safety and patrol.
Yeah.
They
Oh, yeah.
instill that.
Of course.
You have to get qualified every
Jaime
threat.
Pettis used to be a firearms instructor for the border patrol.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Those are gun nuts and
Yeah.
gun nuts, and but very excellent people and so forth. And
Of course.
But going back, to have another question for you, Bobby, what would you consider, if you're willing or just considering answering this, what would you consider Bobby's biggest mistake? If you had to pick one,
My biggest mistake.
maybe you should have considered being a public servant, because you had that pivotal time in your life where you could have entertained, because you seem to have always had a heart for policy and government
Yes.
and serving.
It's hard for me to admit any kind of mistake, because I'll tell you why. Because I think that God had a plan, and God doesn't make mistakes. And I think he had that journey for me in the music that had to happen for me to get to this point. Right? I got divorced. Am I going to say that getting married to my first wife was a mistake? I will not. Because then that means my 3 sons wouldn't have been born. So I don't believe in looking at things through the lens of, well, that was a mistake. Any mistake you make is a lesson in life that can serve you down the road. So I don't view things like that. Whatever happened, I learned from, and I moved forward, and I think I'm better for it. Am I perfect? Absolutely not. Do I make mistakes? Absolutely. Right? But do I dwell on them and say, hey, I shouldn't have done that? No, because it probably taught me something.
I think I'm going to totally agree with you on that, Bobby. That's an excellent way to look at it,
Yeah.
because I love speaking to motivational people.
Yeah.
So perhaps I'm looking at it wrong. They're not mistakes, but they're learning opportunities.
They are, absolutely.
Yeah, and you can, if you made what you could perhaps consider a mistake, but let's learn from it. Let's flip it. Like I have another friend of mine, a lifelong friend, is like, and he knows me. He's out there, Carlos. Hello, Carlos. But anyway, lifelong friends, is we would kind of kid about it and say, hey, oh, así no. Like,
Oh, yeah.
you know what I mean? Okay, not that way. Okay, so I made a mistake, but I'm going to flip it, and I'm going to learn not to do it that way. And I'm going to win doing it this way, right?
Yeah.
So those are perfect learning opportunities.
I agree.
Yeah. So how about, what would you consider your greatest and biggest achievement and your biggest win, Bobby?
My kids. Without a doubt.
Excellent.
If you were to tell me professionally, that's a separate
No,
thing.
just what your heart tells you.
My kids. For sure. I did my part. Now they got to go do theirs. We got to give our kids a chance to be able to thrive, create an environment for them to do their part. And I don't think that's where we are right now.
Well, thank you for considering to run and making those changes, and let's see what happens.
More important to be a voice.
Yeah.
And listen to people.
Sure, of course. But is there any last perhaps things you want to tell the general public out there about yourself, why you're considering to run?
My only thing that I can tell the people is, before you look at a label and label me, listen to what I have to say and ask yourself if you agree with the things that I say. And better yet, are you going to agree with everything? No, because there's not any public servant or politician that I agree 100% with. I told you Obamacare had a lot of problems, right? And I thought Obama was a great speaker. I think he was a moderate guy, moderate Democrat, but did he make mistakes and things that I didn't like? Sure. You know, are you going to agree with me on everything that I just said today? No, that's okay. But do you agree with my intention and my heart and what I want to go fight for? If you do, then you might want to consider me. And if not, that's okay too. I'll be your friend.
Okay. We can agree to disagree, but at the end of the day, we're all Americans.
All day long.
Yeah. One last question I would like to leave you with, Bobby.
Yeah.
For our next perhaps candidate or person that's considering to running for public office, what question would you have for that person for our next guest?
I don't know who that guest is going to be.
Whoever it would be.
Will you be willing to put your people over your party? That's it. Will you, if you get in a place where you have to choose between your party and the people, what will you choose? And that will tell me a lot about you. Doesn't matter what you run for.
All right. I'm going to remember that, and we're going to ask whoever the potential new guest that we have. And if you're listening out there, I warmly invite you to come to our podcast and give you an opportunity at this platform to explain and kind of speak to the people and so forth. Yeah, of course. And I really appreciate you being here, Bobby. And we're fans as well, but we're interested to see how well, everything turns out.
I appreciate the opportunity to come talk.
And you're always welcome here at the Delta Oaks Ranch in the Delta area.
A nice place.
Yeah. Thank you very much.
Yes.
Thank you, Bobby.
Appreciate it.
Yes, sir.
You're an ex-brother?
Yes, sir.
Me
Yeah.
too.
Oh, yes. I'm an ex-brother.
Yeah.
Well, let me shake your hand again as an ex-brother.
I don't have a chain, but I don't have it, but I've served on team and
yes.
And yes, I've been to the retreat. It was a wonderful experience.
Yes, it is. It's an eye opener. Once we get locked in there and no cell phones, no distractions, no social, nothing. And, you're one with God and with your brothers and
absolutely.
It helps you channel everything back in to realize what is important and to serve rather than
That's
to
what
be
it is.
served.
That's all about. I had to give a weekend to work off to do it. Yeah. And it was worth it. And I do it again.
It is.
Yeah.
Yeah. But thank you again.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate
it, sir. And that's a wrap here at the Delta Oaks Ranch. Thank you, everybody.